Elizabeth. You made that. And today I have Sarah Crosby on. She's from Bee and Birch. She makes her own candles. So we're going to talk to her about her candles and how she makes them. It's just all the good stuff. So let's welcome Sarah.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. And thanks everyone for watching. So I think you're really gonna like what you see. Her candles are special. I'm just gonna move you around here. Okay, Sarah, tell us about Bee and Birch.
Okay, so I started Bee and Birch candles 5 years ago, right after I had my first child up in Alaska. We were stationed up there with the Army, and I needed a creative outlet, and I wanted something to. I love candles, but I couldn't find this specific type of candle on the market anywhere. So I do beeswax candles with essential oils, so it doesn't have any of the fragrance oil and toxins breathing in. And I wanted the wooden wicks that crackle, and I wanted them in containers. So all of the things that I wanted, couldn't find anywhere, wanted to have something safe to burn around the kids that was safe to breathe in. And so I decided to make my own. So it was inspired by Alaska to begin with. And then we have transitioned now to North Carolina, and I've brought it with me. So it's developed and kind of evolved over the course of 5 years, but it's been a really fun process.
Yay! Well, I was introduced to Sarah's candles when my daughter-in-law Lindsay gave me one for Christmas last year. And this is her etched cover, and it's in this beautiful brown. Well, it's just so decorative. It just looks nice sitting out. So she gave it to me, and immediately my other daughter-in-law and I, we're both graphic designers. So we saw the packaging and we saw all the cute branding that you have, and we instantly followed you on Instagram. And like, we hadn't even burned the candle yet. We're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And mine is called Enchanted Wardrobe. And I'm just going to get into that because how you name them is unique. And when I smell this, it's like woodsy and piney. You know, I can see the Alaska vibe. But Enchanted Wardrobe is like perfect name because it's like I just stepped into the Narnia wardrobe. I mean,
that was the goal. Transport you there.
You hit it.
Oh, yeah. So my sister actually does all my design, and that has been another really beautiful part of this just endeavor, has been getting to be creative with her across the miles. She's in Philadelphia. So she's done my logo and my colors and just all the design pieces. I've kind of given her, this is what I want and this is what I'm trying to go for. And then she makes it happen, which is awesome. And the naming of them is always just a hilarious like situation if you could zoom out and see, because usually I've been like playing around with the scent formula and then I get it how I want it, and then she's in Philadelphia, and then almost always it's the last minute right before I'm launching, so I'm like, I need to name this thing now, and I'm talking to her on the phone and I'm sniffing the candle, walking around, sniffing it and telling her, these are the vibes I'm getting. I'm getting, wardrobe-y or, whatever. And I'll throw out words, and she's a great thesaurus. So she's, bouncing ideas, and we're getting kind of a mood going on, and it's hilarious, but also really fun, and definitely different than standard candles that have 25 different scents to choose from, because they're using cheap fragrance oils and it's just not as costly of a process. But for me, I'm using essential oils. That's the most expensive component of each candle, and so getting that formula just right, burning the candles to try them, it's a whole process. So we had started with 3 scents. I would love to. Do I have time to show you or tell you the different ones?
Yes, please.
So we started with 3, and then we have since added 3 over the course of the last couple of years. So my signature scent is Birch and Honey. It is the birch essential oil, which is very winter greeny. It's very fresh and crisp. Of all of them, it's the one that smells the most different cold versus the candle terminology is the throw. So the cold throw versus warm throw is most different in this one. So when people smell this one at a bazaar, or if they just come by and are smelling them, they will, it smells very minty when you smell it. But once it's burning mixed with the beeswax, it's a crisp warmth combination. It's hard to describe. I've never smelled anything like it in any other candle. So I have dubbed it my signature one because it's the most unique, I think. And people either really don't like it because they don't like wintergreeny smells, or they really like it because it is so unique. So that's the signature. Snowkissed Evergreen was one of the other ones that we started with. So we started with 3 forest ones. We had kind of the birch, the evergreen, and then the cedar wood, which is our Enchanted Wardrobe to start. And Snowkissed Evergreen is your classic Christmas tree smell, but not fake and not giving you a headache like so many of them do. And then Enchanted Wardrobe, you hit the nail on the head. Takes you to Narnia was kind of the goal. Very musty and kind of, I think of a library. I just picture like sitting with a book in a library. It's kind of the more, musty or musky, whatever smell. And Spiced Amber is one of the newer editions, most popular one sales wise. Cinnamon, romantic, strong, bold. So that's Spiced Amber. I'm trying to make sure that I don't leave any out here. Garden Sunshine is last year's new one. And it is very herbal. So it's not as floral as you would think with garden, but it's more like sitting in a garden with the sunshine, just basking in the sunshine, drinking herbal tea. That's just the vibe that I get. It's the lavender and sage and a kind of a bright lemon added to it. So that one's one of the lighter smells, but it's not as it's better for a smaller room if you want a strong smell, or a more background smell if you have it in a bigger room. And then last but not least is Balmy Terryce. That's this year's. And that one was really fun to name because my mom's name is Terryce and she makes an excellent key lime pie. And my sister and I wanted to do a little tribute to her. So this is a key lime vanilla combination. And it's very tropical, but almost like tropical in the winter, like going to the beach for a winter vacation. So I
want to smell them.
I know. I just want to like
scratch and sniff, screen, because I want to smell
television or something. That's a thing that's coming. Give it a couple more years.
Yeah.
So those are the 6 cents, and it's been a fun endeavor.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned about you wanted the wooden wicks, and mine have been burnt. So and you said that they crackle. So do you make the wicks yourself, or do you get them from somewhere?
No, I don't make them. I get them from a small business that makes wooden wicks for candle makers. I would love to be able to make them, but I think that would be a whole process that I haven't developed yet, because they are cut very thin. They are engineered just so to be able to have the crackle. They have that kind of booster you'll notice on them. Here I have a put together one. You'll see I cut them down to size, but they have like a extra bit on them that gives it the crackle feel for it. So I start with all these different components and then put them together. And it's mentioning the company that I get them from. I've really tried as a small business to support as many other small businesses as I can. So from the beeswax to the wooden wicks to where I get my boxes and where we use our print shop, and all of these places, just supporting other small businesses that, when you buy from a small business, you're not just pouring money into a large infrastructure. You're paying for people's, soccer lessons for their kids, or their car repairs, or, all these extra expenses that come up. And I like to be able to know that I'm also doing that when I'm putting these candles together to create something. So that's been a fun part of it too.
True. It's a win-win for everybody. Okay, so tell me about this etching on the lid.
So that's another small business. That's a guy in my neighborhood. He does he has a laser printer and he etches them. Yeah, you can kind of get the iridescent. I don't know on this end. I love how the etching ends up on there because it looks like the birch tree. Like it gives it the birch tree dynamic. And when I first started, fun fact, when I first started these candles, I was using glass, which I loved the look of the glass, but shipping them was a nightmare cost wise and just liability wise. So switched to tins. This last year I switched to the wooden looking tins, which I really love. But when I first did glass, I was hand etching with a stencil the lids of every single one of the candles. I was also hand wood burning all of these little coasters that went with them. So we have come a long ways in being able to somewhat streamline the process.
Yeah, you learn that you can delegate out and then only do what only you can do. You know.
Right. And I've added 2 more kids to the mix, which has been a big component of it. They help with the wicks and the putting it together. And so if you notice that things are not just so on it, there's a reason for that, and it's made with love.
Oh, that's so cute. It's a family project.
It is.
Okay, so you mentioned or I remember getting a little card with my candle. So each scent has its own little card, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So as of this year, that I meant to mention this earlier, they're all color coded now. So this is my sister through and through because she has done the design. So they all started out this color. And then on the back, they have the scent as well. I'm trying to look in here too. And then it has like a little descriptor. And then the ingredients and just about beeswax. Beeswax cleans the air when it burns versus other waxes that add stuff to the air. So it actually purifies the air. So I love it when, allergy season comes up and things like that too. So we have a little blip about that, but then it's, as of this year, we've created it so our new boxes that have little windows, I'm upside down, windows in them. I can just look at it, see which fragrance it is by the color. So that's been a change this year, and it's been fun to get to have. Yeah, and my sister is very just artistic, and so all of these we have. Let me get it in proper order here, but we have the whole rainbow. So I don't know what we're gonna do when we add scent number 7, which might be coming sooner than later. Just we'll see.
Ooh. Well, your sister is very creative, so kudos to her because she had graphic design fans like clamoring to follow you on Instagram just from that.
You'll be thrilled to hear it.
Okay, so how do you take orders? Yeah, how can we order?
So I have a business card in most of the candles or on it, which has my Etsy on it. My Etsy shop is currently closed just because with the expense of the candles, and I didn't want to raise prices again, along with everybody else this year. So I stopped selling on Etsy just because the cut was out of it was too big. But right now, and I love the personal component of taking orders. Like I love having dialogues with people and knowing where the candles are going and if they're being used as gifts or going in people's homes or just whatever. So I'm taking orders on my Instagram account or my Facebook. You just shoot me a message what you're interested in, or if you don't know which scent you want, then I love like talking to people, like what vibe are you going for, so right now that's how I'm taking orders. Word of mouth is primarily how I've spread. I am going to be at a local bazaar at the Cape Fear Botanical Gardens in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'll be there this Saturday, the 10th. I think that's the 10th. So I think it starts at like 4:30 or 5. So I'll be there all evening, and it's like a whole lights thing. So it's really fun, but it'll be fun to get to be a vendor there and talk to local people too. So I usually have candles on I have them in stock, or at least the means to make them. But I primarily focus each fall. I relaunch for that season, for the holiday season. It has changed every year based off of pregnancies and childbirth and family changes and all those things. So it has, I never really know exactly, but my goal for this next year is to kind of keep the ability to access candles if you are interested in them year round. So I'm hoping my goal, we'll see, is to launch a seventh scent before the holiday season of next year. So sometime this next year, have another one come up, and then by the time the holidays come around, people will have already smelled and know which ones they're interested in. So when it comes to gifts, a lot of people use them as gifts, which is so honoring. But I know it's special too to get a handmade gift from somebody, so I'm glad to get to perpetuate that.
Yeah, oh nice. That's how I found out about you. So
Right.
I'm thankful. Well, all right. I'm hoping that we can have you on again when you have your seventh scent
So,
and we can launch it here.
oh,
Again, I'll I'll put links. And if you follow her on Instagram, then you will know, what she's up to, where she's going to be, what's new, and all the things. And then just DM her for any orders or any questions that you may have. Anything else that you'd like to say, Sarah?
that's all. It's been so fun to get to talk about these and just converse with you. This is so
Oh,
fun.
well, thank you for coming on. And again, when you support local, you are supporting the families. And Sarah and her family, they are a military family. So we thank you for your service. It is a sacrifice, and we appreciate that for our country. And so, yeah, it's a win-win. You feel good because you're helping people. And yeah, so everybody buy candles because it makes a great gift. I can attest to that. Well,
Thank you
again,
so much
thank
for
you.
having me on here.
Yes, and I would love to have you on again. And so thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.